Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here. Thought I would sit down and do a video for you guys and gals. Hold on, let me link the Facebook page if you guys will follow me there. Get a sip of my water. Let's talk about the topic. You know, my topic today was literally given to me by client Louis. You guys know Louis. Remember blogger Emma? Yeah, that Louis. So we were having a chat and he's like, you know, at this point, Jason, you should probably just make videos highlighting the fact that people said you could never get lean. And, you know, you guys pretty much see how I'm looking lately. We're getting leaner still, by the way. I'm still losing body fat all the time. We just keep getting leaner. You know, people said that. They said that. And here I am getting lean. So, you know, it's been a fun journey, though, hasn't it? Right? It's been a fun journey, you know, and everyone who's followed me along got a lot of credit for that. People are like, wow, you were actually really doing it. And, you know, let's be fair. When people said that in the past, it was actually pretty reasonable criticism, you know, right? People gave criticism. And at a certain point where I really didn't care, I wasn't really trying to get that lean. I was just, you know, losing a little body fat for weight classes and things. But is the criticism valid? Yeah. I think it's actually fair criticism. Like, I'm not even going to be like, I showed you, right? Because we don't really need to go there. I mean, at the time it was given, it was fair criticism. And we have to be able to take that. But I did take that, you know, and that's something I've been doing. You know, people are like, makes you think if you keep getting leaner and work on your physique, it will increase outreach or whatever. Well, because I mean, everyone told me it would. They're like, this is why you don't have this. And it was, you know, criticism I took under advisement. Instead of saying, you know, well, you know, if you guys, I looked at all that criticism, other influencers, other people said for years, and I kind of stepped back and said, you know, maybe they got a point. Sometimes we have to do that. You know, it's one thing when people are being haters. It's one thing that people are being haters. It's another thing when it actually is real, legitimate criticism. And in that case, you know, a lot of it was, but here I am doing it. We're doing it. Of course, the veins will be popping out by the end of this. I just move my hands around a bit. So, because the one yesterday, they were really popping out. Usually it's because it's done arms on that day. That helps. So tomorrow will be a shoulder day, so probably be popping out. But, you know, the thing is with all of it, it was fair criticism. And I took it under advisement and said, yeah, I should probably get leaner. We work on it slowly, just chipping away. And that's been the thing. You know, I've been doing it super slow. You know, you get people who go, why do it slow? Because you keep all your muscle. And in some cases, you make some gains. I mean, to be fair, is my bench and my pressing strength a lot of that? A lot of my upper body strength, is it stronger than it was when I was heavier? How often are people out here losing 20, 30 pounds of body fat and their strength goes way down on those lifts? That's the norm. So instead, I've actually made some gains along the way, right? We've actually gotten a little bit bigger. So it's been a fun process. And I think for me, it's been a learning process. I feel like that process has helped me to be a better coach. It's helped me to be a better coach. It's helped me to be a better educator for people out there, right? Because we've run the full gambit of stuff. And as I continue to refine the physique, like even now, I got to get leaner, man. I need my shoulders bigger, right? Let's be fair. Yes, my biceps and stuff need to come up more, but really, don't we need the bigger capped belts? Isn't that really what I also need? Tighten the waist up more, get the delts bigger. Will that also carry back over to powerlifting again? I think that it will, to some extent. All right, we got to think about weight classes. Overall strength in them. Let me get a couple of these questions down here. William says, hey, Jason. Hey, William. You're always a good poster child, man, brother. James, have the majority of your clients have always been physique-oriented? No, absolutely not. No. I only had a handful early on. But here's the thing that I learned the longer I coached even a lot of the strength stuff. How many people out there, because of all the stuff that we've discussed with size and strength, have looked at the starting strength models, all these things, how many people were coming to me for strength? Because when you dug deeper, like, well, if I just get to this strength, I'll look good. Well, that's not always true, is it? Because it is kind of the reverse to some extent. Meaning, if you're actually big, you'll probably be strong. Just because you push heavy singles doesn't mean you're always going to be big. You might be strong for your size. You're going to be, have more efficiency with the size you have. And sure, that stuff can put muscle on, but really a lot of it works the other direction. And this is stuff I have learned and accepted with more years of experience, right? With more years of experience. I've really come to the conclusions you can almost bodybuild your way. And didn't Louis Simmons tell us that? You can almost bodybuild your way to bigger lifts. You really can. Not saying you're going to be number one in the world, but if you just want elite lifts, you can pretty much almost bodybuild your way there. Size raises your strength ceiling. And if you're fairly lean, you work well in your weight classes. William says, when I looked for strength, but because you weren't training your arms as much. Not that the strength itself is the problem. It's the exercise selection. James says, I threw out flat benching, currently doing incline and weighted dips. My chest grew more than. But, flat bench actually is a good chest exercise if you perform it correctly. Right? Isn't it? I think we all agree on that universally. And I've got my own set of issues with dips. Not that they're a bad exercise, it's just the risk for some people. I think they're actually great exercise. That's kind of one of those people like, why don't you like dips? That's a flip-flop. No, it's not. Dips are a great exercise. It's just the risk to reward. Dips absolutely are a good exercise for building muscle. But as far as the other goes, flat bench is great too, but I love incline. Right? It's the old adage, talk is cheap. Yep. Talk is cheap. But we've made the progress. Like we are in the doing. A lot of people will come in really shocked on certain days, depending upon how my water fluctuation is. The lighter, oh my God, you're ripped. Another day, it's like, okay, you're okay. But that's normal. That's normal for all of us. All the influencers have told you the same thing. You're going to shift a bit day to day. You're going to shift through the same day. As long as at certain points in the week, I'll look a lot leaner. But we are still getting leaner. I'm still getting leaner, still working on it. Slowly but surely just chipping away at it and then adding to a lot of the other show muscles, right? So we're in the doing successfully, right? Pause and just hit the shirt, don't go all the way down, right? All right. William, what are we talking about? Oh, you're talking about when you lifted for strength. I don't know. I'd have to reread your whole train of thought there. James says, I use a medium grip and pause for 2 seconds on my chest. Wide grip feels weird. Still got a good strength base as on flat bench. Michael Hearn is big on only doing incline movements for chest. I mean, I go hard on incline right now. Right? I go hard on inclines. Like I think inclines are absolutely invaluable for improving aesthetics and shape. But I mean, I do a lot of incline work these days, right? I do a lot of incline work, a lot of it. In fact, it makes up the majority of my pressing. But I do all those pullovers and stuff now as of this week. Ruben says, what's the difference on average? I have no idea. Between a regular deadlift bar and axle bar in terms of max pulls. I don't know. And there's no sport to test it because Strongman uses straps on the axle bar. Don't get me started on that. All right? Why are the streams are quieter? Oh, let's try to turn the volume down. Hold on. I've also had to pull the mic to the side because it gets in the way of the camera now that I have a better angle. You meant the comment section. I was over here adjusting the mic. Well, it just is, James. It just is. Eventually, they'll pick back up. The channel subscriber count's still going up, by the way, slowly but surely. So they'll pick up. If I continue to make progress in my thing, I think they'll be fine. All right? So get kind of silly with that because we should really be talking training stuff, fitness, not about the size of the streams. But, James, are you clicking the likes to help get people in here? I can help. All right. But Ruben, I don't know why we would expect there to be an average that anybody would really know. Meaning so few people pull on an axle bar, I don't think we have data. I don't think anyone has data. But it's going to be a significant gap. I mean, it's going to be massive. I mean, you saw me today doing sets of 3 that were not full limit sets with 495, so 500 pounds, right? Doing triples with 500 after my heavy pull, right? With a normal deadlift. The axle bar went all the way down to 390 for triples. Over 100 pounds difference there. So it's pretty significant. Best rep range you found for weighted pull-ups for lat hypertrophy, anywhere from 5 to about 12, anywhere in that range. I feel pretty much does a very similar job, right? My experience, in my opinion, for what it's worth. Yep. There's the Facebook page again for anyone who's not following it. Okay. All right. Jason, ever try to get closer on your curls with the long bar? What? I don't understand the question at all. That got discombobulated. What's that? That's my Facebook fitness page, Papa. If you guys would please follow me there if you have Facebook. Pulling axle bar with straps pretty much negates the benefits of grip training. Yep. Again, Strongman comes up with its own stuff, man. Yeah, William, I've gone closer with the bar for the curls. I don't know that it really hits my biceps better. It looks good on camera though, doesn't it? I probably should just with the camera. Papa, you don't know what a fitness page is? Okay. On Facebook, you have different pages that are about different topics, right? So you have pages all on Facebook. And sometimes there's people's pages. Sometimes they're about different topics. This is my Jason Blaha fitness page. That's it. Just like there's pages about cars, pages about chess, pages about dogs, right? It's the sort of topic that's on the page. Me being a influencer. I hate that term. So pretentious. So pretentious. I mean, William, maybe though, or maybe hitting harder, but I mean, what other muscles are really working on a curl? Well, Popa, it's technically, yes, it is my page. It is my page. And I'm an athlete. All right. Will you collab with Shane Hunter, Alex Leonidas? Why? Or are they asking to collab with me? Is there something going on? Like, are these people who have expressed interest in collabing with me in some venue? Because neither one of them have reached out to me. So when you're asking that, you're making it sound like they have discussed it in some manner. What do you think is the minimum standard for being in shape? I don't know. I don't know, Scott. You put me on the spot with that. I literally have no idea what we would classify as the minimum standard for being in shape. I'm going to assume reasonably lean and with good cardio, decent cardiovascular capacity. Now, are you asking me to give exact metrics? I don't have an exact set of metrics. I don't have a standardized and quantified for determining exactly what in shape is. But it's one of those things too where when we see it, we know what it is. Right? Do we all know what in shape is when we see it? No, I just feel good for Alex. He's got a girlfriend. Okay, cool. It looks great. He's truly strong both at a lower and upper body age. He escaped the hole he dug himself many years ago. Yeah, no, I mean, you got to give credit where credit's due, right? So you got to give credit where credit is due. He really pulled the whole short guys shouldn't train their legs, all that stuff he pulled, which was insecure. And then he dug himself out of it and fixed it. Okay. So is that a sign of maturity on his part? I'm going to say yes. Is this a sign that Alex grew up and became a man? I'm going to go with yes. There's nothing wrong with that. And I think he would agree with that, right? I think he would say the same thing. He was, yeah, I mean, I was an immature kid. Now I'm a man. What do you expect? That's how it works, guys. There's no shame in that. Emmett says, looking lean AF coach. Thank you. Would you say swimming a certain distance? I have no idea how to answer that, Scott. Jason, your videos on Whole Foods motivated me to clean up my diet. I've had high blood pressure in the past. We checked it out yesterday. It was 105/70. Nice. That's good progress, man. That's something to be proud of coming along there. Right? That is coming along. Scott, because you're wanting me to give an indicator of health based upon a specific cardio metric versus how much we lift. I don't know how to quantify that either, to be honest. Because again, how much someone can lift? Well, I mean, yeah, a person can be out of shape and have an enormous lift. I mean, there's super fat power lifters out there. So can we use necessarily how much you lift as some great metric of health? Well, probably not. Right? But you already know that. Is that fair, Scott? Is that fair to say that you probably are aware that there are some unhealthy people who can squat 900 or 1,000 pounds out there? We also know that having a good cardiovascular capacity is generally well associated with good health. Fair. But here's the thing. When you try to pigeonhole something into a corner like that and get into the specifics, then people would start coming up with these extremes, which is, well, maybe you don't need to lift or be strong to be healthy. Well, you really do if we go on the data. You're going to be healthier if you lift and you're reasonably strong. But again, you're talking about how much someone can lift. Well, that's a fairly open-ended thing. Or would it be fair to say most of us would probably be healthier if we had a reasonable strength base? And I think that's a very true statement. And that might even be more true than the ability to, say, swim or running a certain distance to some extent, not completely. So again, you have asked a very nuanced question. So that's what I mean. I don't necessarily understand what you are looking for in terms of your answer, unless you just wanted a very convoluted answer like that. James says, yay or nay on Primo for who? I think Primo's great. All right. Emmett says, I up my protein intake from 200 grams a day and I found I recover better, including healing faster from injuries. Is this normal? Possibly. Possibly. Because again, we're talking metabolic health and other stuff, not just muscle growth. That's like I've seen Lyle McDonald point that out too. Everyone gets too caught up in this is where protein intake seems to stop contributing directly to muscle growth. But it doesn't mean it stops contributing to other things. Certain aspects of recovery, certain aspects of your metabolic health, right? All that stuff. I mean, there's other factors at play than just your muscle mass and your muscle gains. And then we get over to that recomposition side too. That's where the heavy proteins really shine also. Okay? All right. But is it normal? I don't know that it's necessarily normal, but there's a reasonable set of explanations why it could happen. I mean, Blaha, man, says, always believed in you. Blaha, thank you, man. Blaha. Oh, super Blaha. All right. At what point number, I guess, is lifting not worth the risk any longer? Is squatting 500 pounds regularly and trying to train her disc? I can't quantify that either. I don't know. We're getting into, again, something we do not have data on. Is squatting 500 that risky? I don't know that it is. Worth it in regards to what? I suppose that determines, number one, your structure, what you had to do to get to the 500, and your relative goals in life. So this is very complicated. You're not going to get a set answer to that. It's something that you have to weigh out and look at all the different variables yourself and decide it's worth it to you. I thought good mornings they are. I should feel like doing them today. Because I had to get a client call coming up, and I'm like, I just want to do a bunch of deadlifts and not have to rotate that bar in and out. Let me just do some deadlifts, and I might throw them in on the squat day. Right? It should be perfectly fine on my leg day. I'm like, man, I just want to do a bunch of pulling. And they get my other supplemental lifts in. So that's what I did. So basically, that slot got replaced with more deadlifts. Like how much health gain am I missing out on if I never bench more than 185? I don't know that you're missing out significant health gains there. I mean, realistically, if you can bench 185 and squat 300 as a healthy man, are you probably getting? I would say again, barring that there are some open-ended health benefits, because we always know that more muscle is going to have certain metrics that are always going to improve in terms of things like glucose disposal, insulin sensitivity. But you're getting to a point where they are getting very, very minor at that point. Meaning, is it possible, say, with those numbers to be at peak, absolute peak health? I'm going to go with yes. Again, you're asking a very specific question with a bit of nuance to the answer. But if you could do those numbers, I'm going to lean in the direction of you're probably most likely getting the overwhelming vast majority of any health benefits you're going to get from lifting weights at that point. But notice even there's some looseness to that answer. Height, weight, all sorts of structure. There's a lot of stuff. So, but you're asking just as would you probably? I'm going to go with probably yes. But as long as we don't start moving the goalposts, we say, what about 175? What about 160? So we don't want to start going there. But is there any downside to getting stronger? Because that's still relatively small in terms of muscle mass, relative to what you could be. Like, meaning you could almost casually just follow a basic program for 45 minutes 3 times a week and eventually get to a point where you surpass those without trying. Coach, how far should a front squat be behind a high bar squat? You want the answer Olympic coaches give for people who are highly proficient at both, not someone who occasionally front squats. So someone who does high bar squats and front squats every week long term should be, I've always heard by Olympic coaches, approximately a 15% disparity. Right? About a 15% disparity between the two. So the front squat should be hypothetically, around 85% of your high bar squat. Do you think that foam rollers and massage guns are helpful? I don't think they help with blood flow. Do they really loosen up muscles directly? No, I'm going to go with no. They can help with some blood flow though, which could be advantageous for recovery, relaxation. And if you're getting relaxation, is that a potential benefit? We'll go with yes. We're going to go with yes there. All right. Again, hopefully that's a fair statement that we can all agree to. Do chiropractors help with joint pain or is it BS? Oh man, that's subject to a lot of debate. William, I don't know what the answer is. Have I used chiropractors in the past with some luck? Yes. Does that mean they're automatically good just because I've had some positive experiences? Not necessarily. Could be a whole lot involved with placebos and other stuff. I don't know that the evidence is particularly strong for supporting it, but I do find that there seems to be at least some truth to it, although it is not a truly absolute evidence-based approach, to be fair. There is a degree of pseudoscience to it, and that has to be factored in. But, I find that it's somewhat good. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate the donation. I've been seeing your content since the early 2010s. It's amazing how this YouTube and fitness influencer space has changed. It really has, man. It's really changed a lot. It's changed a lot. Yeah, bro, appreciate that. There shouldn't be a big, you should be able to compare them either way, Kenny. Meaning the 1 rep max should be compared to the other 1 rep max. Do you think Steve Reeves was natural? I think he probably was. Is something I would say for certain? No. Is there a very strong possibility he was? Yes. So I would throw it in the case of, I believe there's a fair likelihood that he was, at least based on his attitude. Unless he was one of the first fake natties, because he was a bit outspoken a little bit against like Diana Ball and stuff. So unless he was the first true fake natty, I'm going to lean in the direction, yes. Right? Also context, it's not like Steve Reeves was super massive. He had a good structure. He trained hard, trained consistently, and had a good genetic structure to work with. But he wasn't by any measures particularly big. So you say his physique looked attainable? Yeah, his physique is attainable, natural. I think his structure though is still going to be genetic, meaning there's a certain structure involved that a lot of us are not going to have that he had. Right. Kind of getting a little tired. I almost feel like I need a quick nap or something before I get back and get some other work done. My sleep schedule has been a little thrown off some this week, last couple of weeks actually. Yeah, no, I mean, Steve Reeves, again, his structure itself was very genetically, what's the term we're looking for? The guy just had a great genetic structure, skeletal structure of insertions. It goes a long way to looking a certain way. Do you think Michael Hearn could be natural? Of course, man, he says he's natural, right? He tells you he's natural. What more do you need? Getting good sleep is important. And I'm getting lots of sleep. It's just my sleep pattern has been a little disrupted just due to some aspects of my life. Not negative things in any way. Just things I got going on. How are you back up 217? Is that from carbs? Just from the carbs, man. Lack of sleep could be a reason for failing a PR and cons of it. Yeah, that could absolutely affect it. No, you're not going to get a holiday vlogs. Well, William, I'm not going to go into my personal life so much. Yes, I will be having a Christmas cheat day. No, it will not be online. I've already got it planned. I have a family cheat day planned on one of the days this coming week. Can we know? I don't know what I'm going to eat. See, here's the thing. You expect me to predict everything that's going to be at a family event. I mean, I'm probably going to eat a little bit of junk. I'm probably eat a lot of protein though. I'm gonna hit the meat hard. Dude, I hate ham. I actually really dislike ham, for the record. I mean, I could eat it if I'm hungry, but it's not going to be my first choice. There were no deadlift PRs today. I pulled 635 at my strongest. Well, I'm not Muslim, but how do I put it? I just don't particularly like it. Money, you're asking with 635 at a lower body weight? No. Oh yeah, this is a lower. No, I pulled a clean 585 not that long ago that was smoother than today. A few weeks back, a couple months. It's been a couple of months actually. Wes Watson says something interesting that might help you with outreach. It's like you need to be social on social media. It might be what's it. 185. I don't know if I want to go down to 185. I'm literally 217 right now. Since I've logged everything, it's all up and documented. So I keep all this stuff. But yeah, I keep notes. Dude, I'm good, man. Everyone's cool with that. Like everyone knows my rules with that. Even people I hang out with in private. I don't consume alcohol and I don't purchase alcohol. Yeah, 200 pounds future. If I were to train 200, I'll be pretty good. Do you think grip? No, it wasn't grip. I actually checked the date, Scott. I put up a post on Facebook on that the other day. I thought I was just under 5 years. I miscounted. So my last drink was in February of 2019. That means we're coming up on 6 years. Coming up on 6 years, man, since my last drink. And hopefully I want to be able to say that was my last drink. Right? Yeah, I have a voracious appetite. High proteins exist. I probably would. Well, I could just fill up on vegetables. It'd be okay. What was the hardest part of being? I don't know necessarily what the hard. Because some of it, when I mention this stuff, people wouldn't believe me. Other than I have friends who will say it. In fact, I've had screenshots of even friends I've had to apologize for stuff for recently I've gone through. Like anytime I mention the way I behave when I drink, I get accused of being a liar. So it's just like I'll just leave my private life private then and not put it online since I just get accused of lying. So what's the point? The hardest part of being an alcoholic for me drinking is somehow not catching AIDS 17 times. No, I'm not a violent drunk, William. No, I'm not a violent drunk. I love everyone when I'm drunk, particularly your mama. And even if your mama's fat, she's beautiful to me. In fact, William, when I drink, your mama is the most beautiful creature that has ever walked the face of the earth. And so is her sister. Therein lay the problem. This is one reason I don't drink. I don't want random stuff sent to me. No, here's my Amazon wish list. No, I mean, me drinking, I'll just go ahead and say, for example, I had to apologize. There's my Amazon wish list. I don't want people sending unlabeled stuff. Sorry, you're on to debt for 20. Hey, man, mine has 2, actually. I'm right at the 20-year mark. Rest in peace, bro. I totally feel where you're coming from. The physical side effects. I always say I was not a true alcoholic. I had a drinking problem because an alcoholic implies I couldn't quit. My problem with drinking, and everyone who knows me knows this, by the way, is I'm okay if I don't drink. Like I can say no. It's what happens after the first drink. There is no one drink. Does that make sense? So I had no problem going cold turkey. Oh, I mean, I've given apologies for some of my behavior when I was drinking back in the day. Like I've gone to friends and said, hey, I did messed up stuff. I disrespected your home. I did certain things when I drank, and I want to apologize to you for that. I haven't drank in X amount of time. And, me having been drunk doesn't excuse that behavior, but I've rectified it by not drinking. Because I had the choice to not drink. So, I mean, it's been pretty bad stuff. I mean, so if people want a real example, I don't know, like being in the middle of a party at someone's house and start making out and having sex with a girl right there on the couch in front of everybody and her having to go grab her blanket and throw it over us till we finish. Right there with just 20 people hanging around. That sort of stuff. I've given an apology for that as an example. So, right, and stuff happens. So when we talk about our behavior when we drink, right, that's what I mean. So I mean and if you were to look at that and say, you know what, that was disrespectful to my friend. The party she had having, it was disrespectful to her home. So that's an example. That's the sort of stuff I've had to apologize for. Not behaving when I drink. So there's a reason I don't drink. Doesn't matter. Who knows what I was drinking? I used to show up with tequila. But therein lay the point. So I would say that's a drinking problem. Right? Now, as far as the worst physical side effects, I mean, hangovers affects your training or affects your recovery, right? Affects your blood work. So I choose not to drink. But I'm around people who drink. I'm around people who drink all the time, like on a regular basis when I'm out and about and, in my social life. But I also have friends who are working on quitting. I have people close to me out there who are working on quitting, and then I'm a good influence there. But I don't judge them. I don't judge them. I used to drink. But, in some ways, then I'm a good influence. No, it's one that I do. It's one I do. I wouldn't say, we would say a woman, not a girl. Because again, the internet, oh my God. A grown woman. No, it's someone I already knew. I used to party like that a lot. But everyone who knows me in real life kind of knows that. They know that. So, no, it's not really that big, dude. It's really kind of messed up in a way, dude. It's kind of messed up. So it's like when you talk about things like that, it's not necessarily something I'm proud of. So guys will say like, "Oh, that's bragging." No, it's not really bragging, dude. It's kind of nasty. Like you really think about it. It's I don't know if that's really brag-worthy, dude. I'm like super lucky that I didn't catch anything really serious. Yeah. Do you think the science behind sleep and muscle synthesis are still debatable, like protein consumption and training frequency? It's behind sleep. I don't know about sleep. I mean, we know sleep is beneficial to muscle growth. Like, are we going to debate that now? I don't think that's really debated. How many drink? I mean, are you talking when I was on YouTube? There were time periods on YouTube when I was going through, I don't know, an average of a whole bottle of wine every night, 7 days a week. Like while making videos on this channel. So there was a time period while making daily videos on YouTube when, as a drinker, I was drinking at least a full bottle of wine every single night before bed. That's not counting my Jaeger. That's always what I kept at home. It was always red wine and Jaeger. I kept Jaeger in the freezer. I was doing that while I was doing the Bulgarian training, by the way. So just for the record, when I was doing the Bulgarian training during that time period, yeah, I was drinking like that. I was squatting to a max every day on camera. But we're past the 5-year mark, and I'm better without it. Like I'm happy I quit. I don't want to ever drink again. I'm content with the choice to stay sober. Honestly, no, it didn't. For me, it didn't. It's ironic, Scott. It didn't. Meaning, in my heaviest drinking, I was never fat. Because again, what was I consuming when I was fat? I was fat for pizza, right? Stuff like that. Ruben, I was intoxicated on camera many times back in the day. I promise you, on this channel, still up there, I guarantee you there's at least 50 or 60 videos still on this channel where I was definitely above the legal limit. Like I would be considered legally intoxicated. There are plenty of them. We're talking years ago. you seen videos saying that? I don't know what that means. Did you feel the negative? Well, future, I don't know. I guess it maybe did. I mean, I used to really hurt when I did the Bulgarian training a lot, and that could have been a factor of the inflammation. But I mean, it waxed and waned here and there. I mean, I had little periods where I went a few weeks without anything. Pepper, I'm not going to do the OnlyFans. Yeah, I'm not going to do the OnlyFans. It was an option I considered on the table. And I'm not going to go into why or with whom. Okay, you're going to make me go Google. So money, I don't know what that means. So would you say you exaggerated while drinking? Yeah, of course. Right. Doesn't everybody? I think everyone exaggerates when they drink. Well, not everyone. Okay, that's an exaggeration. Most people exaggerate with the people are going to quote me. Oh, you see that? That's he's saying everybody. It's not true. All right. Exaggeration is common, absurdly common when drinking. Yeah, of course I did. Coach, would you consider strongman at your age? Probably not. Yeah, probably not. See myself doing that. Yeah, money, that's just weird. I'm not. Yeah, that's just weird. I'm not understanding why anybody would actually do that. And I don't even care what people's fetishes are. You know, I just think that's weird. No, it wouldn't in any way. It just doesn't make sense. And let me be clear, I don't even kink shame anybody. Like, I really don't care. Like, I really don't care what people's kinks and fetishes are. I don't judge people for that stuff. But that's not even being done as a fetish. That is, they're just taking alcohol. That's just weird. Like, there's no reason for it. Or in fact, it could probably cause health problems, and you get just as drunk without it. But you're getting calories through anyways, you're the alcohol itself. Is that the great period of this? Well, it's that. No, I mean, a lot of fetishes are weird. I just don't judge people. I just don't care. That's people's kinks is their kinks. It's just really not a big deal. You know, people like what they like. Came in late, you're about to run, so then yeah, I'm going to wind it down. Would you consider yourself to have body dysmorphia or yeah, I definitely have some body dysmorphia. TTS, yeah, I don't think it really affected it because the deadlift is not being used as a primary modality. Keep in mind, a lot of it's probably compensation for the tissue missing in my bicep. Right. But we speculated it on the DEXA scan because they saw the difference. Another reason is coffee enemas. Yeah, that's just so weird. I mean, Again, I can understand if people are doing it specifically as a fetish. Okay, if that's their thing, but they're doing it claiming other reasons. You're putting something in your backside. You're doing it as a fetish. Just admit it. If you rated your physique right now out of 10, I don't know what I would give it. So on my best days right now, where would I rate it 1 out of 10? Maybe a 6. Right? But the average American guy is like a 2, right? So compared to my age, wait, to the non-lifter, or do you mean like bodybuilders, my age group? We're talking general population, like about 9. Yeah, for my age group, 9. I would agree with that. But are we talking about people who you're talking in bodybuilding and fitness world? I don't think I could go anywhere near that high. Ruben, how are we defining genetic limit? What do you mean by genetic limit? Right? Because my fat-free mass index is like 27 or 28, so I'm not sure where we're going here. I mean, yeah, I could add more drugs, dude. I'm nowhere near my limit, man. If that's what we're talking about, you can throw another gram of testosterone in at any time. How did you do, Antonio? How much progress did you make? I mean, you watched all the stuff. Mo's commentary. Jason Whitbody for cutting for. I don't recommend guys do traditional bulks anymore. I really don't. So I don't know how to answer that. I would say if you don't have visible abs and you care about your physique, you probably shouldn't be gaining weight till you can see your abs. If that's what we mean by a bulk, like if you gain 5 pounds over 6 months, that's a bulk. It's a slow bulk. Right? No, I think fat-free mass index calculators are still accurate there, even below a certain threshold. If you're under 20%, you don't have to be under 10%. Ever heard of this? I don't understand the question. I've heard of a lot of people named Hamza. I think isn't that a really common Arabic name? Isn't that like isn't there like a million people with that name or something? Okay. Sorry. That's something funny. And then reflect back, wow, that's all you said. Oh, man. I kill myself sometimes. All right. All right, we're at 54 minutes today. I'm going to wind this down. So I hope it's been informative. I'll talk to you guys. And it was someone I said something funny to a friend of mine, and all they wrote back was, wow. All right, so I'll talk to you guys next time.